out of the gates and ready to go. Welcome into this Monday live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, the somewhat capable host, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We got a loaded show ahead. Coming up in our first segment, we'll go over the latest news and rumors on your Seattle Seahawks, as we'll be talking about Sam Darnold, as Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk, is already putting him on the hot seat entering 2025 before he's ever played a single snap in Seattle. We'll discuss that and more coming up in segment number one. Then in segment number two, we are going to let you hear from Mike Macdonald, as he has made a substantial change in regards to your Seattle Seahawks. We'll tell you what that change is and more coming up. And then in our final segment, has the Seahawks fixed their biggest flaw? We'll answer that question and tell you everything you need to know coming up here on today's program. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling. We're coming at you here on this Monday afternoon from the Chat Sports Studios in downtown Dallas, Texas. And I appreciate you joining us. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. I know I did. I was a little bit everywhere this weekend. Went to Tulsa for a bit, went to Little Rock, seeing some family and such, but had a very good 4th of July weekend. Drove back into the office first thing this morning, and excited to bring you guys this live edition of Seahawks Today here to get your week started. It is a normal week for us. We have 3 live shows headed your way. We'll be with you today, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, right here on the channel. So we thank you all for being here with us and spending part of your Monday here on Seahawks Today. Let us know where you guys are at. I got David checking in from Ohio. Beta YT is in the chat. He's playing College Football 26, and he's telling everybody to like the stream. Thank you, Beta, for that. I got Redberg saying, go Hawks. Good to see you, Redberg. I got Beta YT checking in from Summerville, South Carolina. Good to see you, Beta. Beta, been a while since I've seen you in the chat. Welcome back, my guy. Mr. Tank says, how we doing, 12s? We are doing very swell. Dogzilla says, how long from now till Hawks news happens? All depends on likes, Hawkzilla. When we get to about 50 likes, then we can get to the news of the day. So like it up, and then we'll go forward from there. Hit that like button. We'll get to that here in a moment. Redberg checking in from Spokane, Washington. Good to see you, Redberg. Let us know where you guys are at. Tell us in the chat. I got Aspect Gaming in Dallas. Beta says, yeah, lots happened. Glad to be here. Yes, indeed. Good to see you, Beta Y2. Who are you playing as in College Football 26, Beta? I got Blake checking in from Kansas City, baby. Hopefully you're enjoying some good Kansas City barbecue, Blake. I got Simon in Vancouver, Washington. Says, go Hawks. Good to see you, Simon. I see Xander's super chat. We'll get to that in a moment. I got Dustin in Spokane. Appreciate you all being here with us on this live show. Xander with a $2 super chat. We haven't even got to the menu yet, and Xander's already down to party with us today. He says, let's go Hawks. Hey, sounds like a great idea. Let's go Hawks. Thank you for that, Xander. Much appreciated. No mailbag today because it's Monday. We do those on Wednesdays. So the only way you can get screen time and get on today's show is being like Xander here and sending us a super chat. $sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. Here is the super chat menu as follows. First-time super chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5, we'll give you a beer cheers. $10, take some shots. $20, spin the wheel of punishment. $50, we will do a beer bong. And, as always, if we reach $300 in super chats, we will do a boot, which is 3 beers in 1. Have not done a boot in a minute, but we could potentially change that today if you guys super chat us enough. We can party and we can have a good time. We get turned on this Monday. Keep the 4th of July celebrations going here on today's show. I got Wesley checking in from Centralia, Chris in Bremerton. I got Dogzilla at Debbie's Deep Dive in Duval, Washington. Duval. The other Duval, that is. Russell says, go Supersonics. Nicholas says, in Shelbyville, Tennessee. Got Jimmy says, go Hawks from Utah. Miguel checking in from the Tri-Cities in Kennewick, Washington. Good to see you, Miguel. All right, let's do a little quiz now. How many Seahawks all-time cornerbacks can you name? who can come up with the most individual corners in their comment. And here's what I will do. We're testing your ball knowledge. I want to see who can come up with the most. And I need, in your one comment, as many corners as you can come up with. And I'm going to give you 2 to give you a head start. So everybody should have these 2 included. I'm going to give you Devin Witherspoon, and I'm going to give you Rick Woolen. All right? So everyone should have those to start. And then let's see how many more you can come up with. The only stipulation I'll say, folks, is that they have to be somebody that's been on the active roster, the 53-man roster at some point in time. Could be somebody that played on the team when this franchise started. Could be somebody relatively recently. Who can come up with the most? Test your ball knowledge and let us know how many Seahawks corners all time you can name. And we'll see. Oh, Russell says, I said Super Seahawks. Oh, I misread that, Russell. My bad. Good to see you, Russell. Super Seahawks. I like it. I like the attitude. Super Seahawks. Let's go. The Seahawks stay in super. I love to see it. Very good stuff there from you, Russell. Thanks for that. Who can come up with the most? I haven't seen any guesses yet. Everybody's been relatively quiet so far on who can come up with the most corners. Trying to test your ball knowledge here, and I'm very curious. A little slow start on testing the ball knowledge so you can come up with the most corners. I've already given you 2, Rick Woolen and Devin Witherspoon. Leluca says, I own you. I don't think so, Leluca. That's odd. That's a little strange, but okay. Let's see. Who's going to come up with the most? Who can come up with the most? Way in the chat right now. Beta, I know you got some guesses, man. Nicholas, Dogzilla, Dustin, who can come up with the most? Who can come up with the most Seahawks corners all time in their individual comment? Let me know in the chat right now. I'm surprised I'm having to wait this long for people to show off their ball knowledge that they actually know their Hawks. Can people not come up with 2 names? More than the 2 names I gave you, Rick Woolen and Devin Witherspoon? I'm a little surprised. That you guys have not come up with more. I'll circle back on that question in a moment, see if we get any more responses. Big Tex is here with me. As I say, hold on a second. We did get some answers in. Ant says Richard Sherman, Josh Jobe, Devin Witherspoon, Reek, Trey Flowers, Shaq Griffin, Kobe Bryant, Mike Jackson. So that's 8. 8's the number to beat from Ant. Let's see. Redberg goes Trafont, Springs, Thurman, Sherman, Browner. Redberg, I gave you 2. I gave you Witherspoon and Woolen. Why didn't you include those? Mr. Tank, yes, Shaq Griffin counts. Of course he does. Let's see here. Same thing with you, Wesley. I gave you 2. And you didn't put them in your comment. Beta's got Richard Sherman, Ken Lucas, Devin Witherspoon, Rick Woolen, Josh Jobe, Nehemiah Pritchett, Shaw Griffin, Trey Brown, Dave Brown, Sidney Jones. Beta's got the most with 10. Sky named 2, and he left out the 2 that I gave out. I try to help y'all. And some of you don't listen. Goodness. All right. So Beta's got the most with 10. Let's see if anybody can beat Beta's number so far to this point. All right. Joining me, as always, on the 1s and 2s, it is our good friend, Big Tex, who's hanging out here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. Big Tex, happy Monday to you. How was the 4th of July, my friend?
Happy Monday. It was good. It was nice having 3 days off, a little break from the office, and we're back at it here on Seahawks Today. With the
How was the fireworks show?
They were good. It was a good time.
Did you launch any fireworks yourself?
No. I do not live in an area that is permitted. I live like right next to a hospital.
Oh, so yeah.
Probably not ideal to do it there. I did hear some getting shot off in the area illegally, but I did not partake in the illicit activities.
You didn't want the JPP effect.
No. I enjoy having all of my finger digits on one of my hands and both of my hands, unlike JPP, who has like 3.5 fingers missing.
I was reading this week that JPP does not let his kids use fireworks. I'm like, yeah.
That's probably a good parenting
Probably a good
tactic.
idea.
Yeah, especially when half your hand's missing from a firecracker.
Yeah. It affected his day job, too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you would like a shout-out from Big Tex, I need you to spam S in the chat. I want to see as many S's as we possibly can over this next minute. Big Tex is going to shout everybody out as many as we possibly can. Spam us, and let's get this party started. Let's have a great time today. I'm going to go ahead and start throwing some S's in myself, and let's see if you guys can get this thing going today and help us have a great time. This will help the algorithm out, let more people know we're here, that we're live, that we're talking Seahawks football on this Monday. Go ahead and start spamming us. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Mr. Tank. The Tank. The real Tank. Montez. Eric. Montez. Eric. Beta YT. What's up, Beast? Montez. Mr. Tank. Eric Productions. Wyatt. Montez. Dustin. Beta. Chris Fleming. Ask a question about something that passed. Sorry. Dustin. Mr. Tank. Eric. Dustin. Mr. Tank. Eric. Wesley. Mr. Tank. Beta YT. Montez Lowe. Dustin. Mr. Tank. Let's get some new names in there. I'm seeing the few holding up the S's, but we need some more people. Eric. Devin. There we go. Chris. Mr. Tank. Wyatt. Redberg. Wesley. Mr. Tank. Scott's. Eric Productions. Wesley. Mr. Tank. Dustin. Beta. Wesley. Chris. VGX. There's a new one. Scott's. Wesley. Montez. Eric. Leluca. I miss Luka Doncic. Wesley. Leluca. Mr. Tank. Eric. VGX. Dustin. Mr. Tank. Wesley. Eric. Leluca.
Let's get some new names in there. About
Seriously.
10 more seconds.
Keep spamming us. Leluca. Wesley. Dustin. Wyatt. Scott's. Mr. Tank. Wesley. Let's get some new names in there. Leluca. VGX. Wesley. Miguel. There's a new one. Christopher. Russell.
There we
Scott's.
go.
Good stuff.
Nice work, everybody. Nice work. Appreciate you all for doing that. When we get 50 likes, we can start today's show, and I will take a shot to get this show started. But I need you guys to hit that like button. Let's get to 50. We need about 17 more. And then we will get there and get this thing started today. But I need you guys to hit that like button. And let me know in the chat when you like the video as well. Type me in the chat when you guys like the video. And let's have ourselves a day today. Let's go Hawks. And thank you guys for being here and joining us here on Seahawks Today Live. Need about 13 more. 13 more. And then we will be there. 13 more. Type me in the chat when you guys like the video. I see Leche saying, see. Dustin liked it as well. Mr. Tank liked it. 9 more. 9 more will be at 50. Then we can start today's show. Peasy liked it. Marty liked it. Wyatt's coming in to troll, saying the Rams are winning the division. Okay. Sit yourself. Peasy, I see you. I see you, Peasy. We're shouting you out right now. It's all good. Redberg liked the video. 4 more. 4 more, and then we'll be at 50. And we can get this show started. 1 more. 1 more, and we'll be good to go. 1 more, and then I'll take a shot, and then we can start today's show, my friends, and get this party started here on this Monday live edition of Seahawks Today. There we go, 51 likes. Thank you all for doing that. And here's the first shot of the day, down the pipe. Cheers. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here's what's ahead on this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. We got news and rumors to get to on Sam Darnold in our opening segment. In segment 2, we got some major changes that are being made by Mike Macdonald. We'll tell you what those are. And then in our final segment, did the Seahawks fix their biggest problem ahead of 2025? We'll answer that question and more coming up in just a matter of moments here on Seahawks Today. Thank you all for being here with us. Let's go ahead and get started here. Segment 1, news and rumors. We're talking Sam Darnold. And let's go ahead and get started. Appreciate you joining us here on this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. News and rumors, segment numero uno begins right now. Coming up on today's show, is there already pressure on Sam Darnold entering 2025? We will discuss that and more as things are already getting very interesting for the new Seahawks quarterback coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us, folks. Let's show some love for QB1, the new sheriff in town. Who knows? He may be watching. Somebody close to him may be watching. What tends to happen when we get new players here with the Seahawks, folks, is that people that are close to them usually want to see what the media has to say as they join a new team. And so I want to make our voices heard loud and clear that we're rooting for Sam Darnold, that he's got our support, and that we want to see him succeed. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. And we'll get started with this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Sam Darnold, already under pressure entering 2025. The new QB1 in Seattle comes over from the Minnesota Vikings, and there's already a lot of tension on him as he takes on this new challenge to head up this Seahawks offense under new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. And according to Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio, before he's ever even taken a single snap in a Seahawks uniform, Darnold is already on the hot seat as Seattle's starting quarterback. Florio says this: he has a one-year deal as a practical matter, and the Seahawks seem to really like rookie Jalen Milroe. Darnold will need to play very well to secure his status for 2026. Now, I'll say this. That's a strong take from Florio right out of the gates before he's even played a game for the Seahawks to say that he's on the hot seat. And I know that catches our eye and our attention. It sounds crazy, but the truth of the matter is Florio's actually not wrong about that. Sam Darnold is on the hot seat entering this year because there is a great unknown about Sam Darnold. You heard Florio mention the contract situation. We'll kind of explain further details coming up in just a moment. But the big question about Darnold entering 2025 is consistency. What version are the Seahawks getting out of Sam Darnold? So far in his young career, we've seen the good and we've seen the bad. And even in 2024 with the Minnesota Vikings, when he had the best season of his career, we still saw the good and the not so good, including at the very end of the season in the final two games against the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. You look at the statistics of what Sam Darnold did in the first 16 games of last season. He was outstanding. A completion percentage of 68%, over 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and the Vikings won a lot of games, folks. But then things came crashing down for Sam Darnold in Minnesota at the end of 2024 as he struggled in that game against the Lions and then followed that up with an abysmal performance against the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card round where he was sacked 9 times. And in those two losses in two of the biggest games of the entire season for the Minnesota Vikings, his completion percentage was barely above 53%, only threw for 411 yards, just 1 touchdown and 1 interception. So then the question becomes, for the Seattle Seahawks, will the real Sam Darnold stand up? Can Sam Darnold be the version that we saw for most of last season as the leader of this offense? Or are the Seahawks getting the guy that we saw at the end of last season and for most of his career? That is a question that we don't know the answer to just yet. Let's ask you all, do you believe in Sam Darnold? You got 2 options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. This is our pinned comment today. Weigh in, let us know if you think the Seahawks signal caller is going to get the job done. Folks, want to make sure that you are subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today for the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day with our daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, including our Madden Sim season. We're bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags, more Seahawks content than ever before right here on Seahawks Today. I want to get at least 20 subs off today's video. If you're a diehard, you got to be subscribed. Best part about it, doesn't cost you a thing. 100% free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Now, one thing to Sam Darnold's credit, when talking about how things ended with the Minnesota Vikings last year, he is very self-aware of how lackluster he played and how bad the Minnesota Vikings looked at the end of 2024. And Darnold, he was asked about this recently. All right, what happened, Sam? What are you going to do about it going forward from here? And this is what he had to say. For lack of a better term, we laid an egg as an offense. And I think for me personally, that sucks. I felt like we were a really good team, but at the end of the day, and this is going to sound a little pessimistic, but when you get to the end of it and you don't win the whole thing, you failed. I feel like I could have played way better, to be completely honest with you. I feel I didn't play up to my standard. I truly feel that way. I feel like I would have just played better. I would have been able to give the team a chance. So then the question becomes, is Sam Darnold a one-hit wonder? Was last year what we saw in the first 17 weeks of the season something that everything just went right and then the real Sam Darnold got exposed? Or were the final two games where he struggled and the Vikings did not play well an anomaly? We don't know the answer to that question just yet, although I'm optimistic that Sam Darnold is going to play very well for Seattle in 2025. Now, I'll say this. When you look at Sam Darnold and the adversity that he's faced throughout his career, he's bounced back before. He has had his struggles with the Jets, the Panthers, got demoted to being a backup and having to go to the San Francisco 49ers. And he came out of it better, stronger. And there's a great saying. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And Sam Darnold has already been through this before, where he reacted well to adversity of coming back and embracing the struggle and getting through it. It's just 2 games. Was it 2 costly games on a big stage? Of course it was. But what's he going to do next? Can he overcome this again? We shall see. Darnold, a Pro Bowler last season in 2024, was also named the most improved player by the Pro Football Writers Association in 2024. And when you look at Sam Darnold, the numbers that we saw were a whole different level for his entire season, his entire body of work. If we take 2 steps back and don't just focus on those final 2 games with the Minnesota Vikings, you can see that Darnold's overall year was fantastic. 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a QB rating of over 102, completion percentage of 66.2%, over 4,300 yards. But we've seen the bad throughout his career. In Carolina, in New York, what will Seattle get? We shall see. And is he the long-term solution for Seattle as their starting quarterback? When you hear Mike Florio already talking about Jalen Milroe and how excited Seattle is, let's ask you. It's a 1-year contract situation. We'll go over the contract basically here in a moment. Is Sam Darnold going to be here beyond 2025? Is he the starting QB in 2026? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Got a great deal for Seahawks fans. Nike T-shirts are on sale now for just $15.99 while supplies last. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT. You guys already know Nike gear usually isn't cheap. And you're looking for T-shirts. You want to support your favorite team this time of year. It's getting hot outside. What better way to do so than by getting a Seahawks Nike T-shirt? $15.99. That's it, my friends, at chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours now. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours today. When you look at Sam Darnold's contract, I think John Schneider and company did a really good job with how they structured this. Not only did they move on from Geno Smith and get a younger and better quarterback, they also got a cheaper contract and got a deal that works for them and allows 2025 to be an experiment of sorts with Sam Darnold, where it is a low-risk, high-reward circumstance. And also, when you take it another step further with Sam Darnold, if Sam struggles and plays like he did in those final 2 games of this season, and they decide that they want to do something different, whether that's Jalen Milroe or another quarterback, they can get out of it easy if they need to. Hopefully they don't have to get to that point, but if that circumstance comes up, it's a pretty flexible situation, pretty fluid for Seattle to do so. Here's what you need to know on Sam Darnold. His contract is a 3-year, $105 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. The contract is fully guaranteed if Darnold remains on the roster after this upcoming season's Super Bowl. If he is cut after 2025, the Seahawks will pay Darnold a total of $37.5 million. That's it. Not anywhere close to the full $105 million. He can earn an additional $15 million in incentives in the lifetime of the contract. And there's also other bonuses available based on playing time and playoff success for him to potentially earn even more money. I think when you look at this season for Sam Darnold, the goals are real simple. Play every game at a high level and leave no doubt. If Sam Darnold stays healthy and he plays really well, then this is an easy decision for the Seahawks to bring him back next year and to go forward with him as the quarterback of the future. If he struggles, if he gets hurt, and Jalen Milroe or somebody capitalizes on that opportunity, then maybe we have a different discussion. But at least right now, at this very moment, the ball's in Sam Darnold's court. Let's see what he can do with it. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. There we go. 1 down, 2 to go. Do you believe in Sam Darnold? Type B for believe, D for don't. Weigh in and tell us what you think. What do you guys think? Are you all in on Sam Darnold in 2025? Chime in the chat and let us know what you think. Big Tex is going to rejoin me here in just a moment. Let's get Big Tex's thoughts. Tex, you heard me lay it out.
Yep.
Do you think that's fair to already say that Sam Darnold is on the hot seat? I know it sounds like a hot take, but the more you look into it, I hate agreeing with Mike Florio of all people, but I don't think he's wrong, to be honest.
No doubt. I mean, I tend to agree with you. I think, look, Sam Darnold clearly has a lot more experience in the NFL. Ooh, I unplugged my headset. Sorry. One sec, fellas. There we go. Back in. As I was saying, Sam Darnold has a lot more experience in the NFL, albeit only one really good year of tape. You could attribute that other bad years to circumstances in Carolina and San Francisco only being a backup. But hey, I think there are legitimate people out there that are, like you said, Mike Florio and others that are contemplating the reality that Sam Darnold might be I don't want to say a stopgap quarterback, but maybe this is his year to lead the offense and then hand the keys over if Jalen Milroe is ready. I mean, I know I saw a decent amount of Milroe in college, and he struggled, but I think based on what we've talked about on the show, like he's looking good so far through practice. He's growing a lot, being mentored by Mike, Clint Kubiak, the new OC, and I think in due time, like he has a chance to make that seat really hot under Sam's ass, like for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I do think he's on the hot seat entering the season, but he's still in full control. He
Balls in his court.
Balls in his court. It's still his circumstance. Let's see what he does with it potentially and goes from there. Super Chat menu, if you guys would like to get involved in today's program. There is no mailbag today, so the only way you can get screen time is by sending us a Super Chat. $sign next to the chat box if you'd like to contribute. If we reach $300 in Super Chats, we can do a boot. First-time Super Chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 do a beer cheers. $10 will take some shots. $20 spin the wheel of punishment. $50 we will do a beer bong. And let's have a great time today, shall we? Let's continue as we are talking about Mike Macdonald now and some substantial changes that he is making in his second year as the Seattle Seahawks head coach. We'll tell you what those are and more as we continue here on this live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Jonesy and Big Tex here with you. I'm going to take one more swig of my water, and then I'll be good to go. All right. Let's do this thing, shall we, folks? Here we go. Let's talk Mike Macdonald. Segment 2 begins right now. Here we go. You're watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Jones, here with you. Thanks for joining us. Seahawks head coach Mike Macdonald enters his second season in Seattle, and he has already made a substantial change. We'll tell you what that is and more coming up here on today's program. Before we do, folks, I got a challenge for you. Can we set our comment record for the month of July? The most comments we've had on a single video is 450. But we here at Seahawks Today, we're always trying to get better each and every day, taking a one-day-at-a-time mentality. And I want to put this out there. I want the 12's voices to be heard loud and clear. Spam S in the comments. Let's get up to 500 and set our record for the month and keep up our momentum for the month of July, and we'll get started with today's show. Mike Macdonald has already made a substantial change for the 2025 season. And I'll tell you this much before we tell you what it is. This is a big deal, but it's probably not what you're thinking. It's something in particular that's going on in practice. Greg Bell of the Tacoma News-Tribune, he was on the Hawks Zone Rundown and gave this detail. Listen to this. Macdonald is just so much more assertive, and he's just so much more comfortable on the field. You see him talking with the offensive players. You see him in the offensive drills more than he did last year. Last year, he pretty much just stuck himself on defense at practices, called the defense, and never went to the offense. He left it up to Ryan Grubb, and we saw what happened in the results of that. This year, he's spending the first parts of practices, so far anyway, the offseason practices with the offense. He has delegated some of the practice play calling responsibilities to AD, the defensive coordinator, who really isn't the defensive coordinator because he doesn't call the plays during games. That's Mike Macdonald. But it seems to me he has ceded some responsibility in time at practice on defense to AD while he's been on the offensive side. So that's a tangible difference on the field that I've noticed already. I'll be honest, I really like this. And, you know, for me, whether I'm looking at football from the high school level, college, pro level, I've never been a fan of head coaches calling plays, in all honesty. I understand why a lot of them do it, but more coaches, head coaches that is, are successful when they aren't calling plays, when they tend to give things to other guys and can be more of a CEO of sorts. Now, Mike Macdonald's not going to give up the defensive play calling duties, but to me, this is a step in the right direction of being that CEO, of having his eyes on everything going on in practice. In life, good leaders, whether it be in the business world, if you're working for Deloitte, or if you're working at PetSmart, good leaders delegate. And they trust the people that they surround themselves with to put everybody in a position to succeed. And Mike Macdonald, as he's another year older now, another year on the job, he's starting to dish some things out more while keeping his eyes on everything that's happening as well. To me, that's a very good thing. Now, as far as him working more with the offense, to me, this is an intriguing thing here because Mike Macdonald, this is not a biased take. I think this is just a fact. He's one of the best defensive minds in all of football, period, at any level. And so for Mike Macdonald to go over and put more emphasis on the offense, that brings a new perspective because he can say, hey, look, I think that this defensive scheme is not going to bode well for the offense to be successful, and give that vantage point and show where things are coming from his perspective. To me, that's a very good thing. There's also a cultural shift going on as well. Not only are we seeing Mike Macdonald take on more of this CEO-type role in overseeing things, according to Greg Bell, there are some new elements to Mike Macdonald's leadership style to how he's running things in Seattle. He's more disciplined. This is a tighter ship than what it was at this time a year ago. And I'll say this. The reports were in 2024, around July, early July, that Mike Macdonald was not putting up with any monkey business like Pete Carroll, that they were not having a loose ship, that they were taking their work very seriously, and that appears to be another step forward in that sense. And the players have responded well. It was perfect attendance at OTAs and at minicamp. There's more attention to detail as well. Football is all about the details and finding every advantage you can possibly get. Macdonald also is emphasizing a quiet intensity, leading by example. There's more focus on the goals in mind, the task at hand, and accountability. And all those things, these new elements that have been brought in, is a strong sign of his progress and where he's taking this team going forward from here. Do you believe in Mike Macdonald? Is the Seahawks' second-year man legit? Got two options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Folks, want to make sure you're subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today as we bring you the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day. I know it's July. It's a little slower. We're counting down to the days of training camp. But believe me, folks, we got you covered in every way imaginable here with our daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, live shows 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're bringing you Q&A mailbags. We got our Madden Sims. We got you covered anyway, anyhow, folks. Look, we just had the 4th of July this weekend. We still had plenty of content even on the channel when I wasn't in the office. We still had you covered. We'll continue to have you covered here. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. You'll be glad you did. One thing that Mike Macdonald is also doing is learning from his previous mistakes as well. And one of those was how the offense was handled last year under offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. Essentially, what was going on, the setup within the organization, was Mike Macdonald was basically the coach of the defense, and Ryan Grubb was the coach of the offense. And Ryan Grubb was simply allowed to do his thing and didn't really have anybody to tell him what he was doing right and what he was doing wrong. And now that's changing, where Mike Macdonald is overlooking things of how Clint Kubiak is running this offense and getting this closer to the image that Mike Macdonald imagines for his team. This is not micromanaging. And believe me, I hate being micromanaged. I get micromanaged at this job all the time, and it annoys the hell out of me. All right, I can relate. But this is not micromanaging. This is oversight. And it's with good intentions in mind. And with Mike Mack, you think about it too. He's still a young cat. He's not going to have everything figured out. This is not a perfect science. He is still learning. He is still on the job training in year number 2. And from what we saw in that first year, what is it? You have to be young and stupid before you can be old and wise. He's only going to improve as a head coach for years to come. He's going to continue to grow. Folks, he's only 38 years old. Second youngest NFL head coach. 38. I mean, the guy could barely run for president right now. And we haven't had a 38-year-old president, so his chances probably wouldn't be that good if he were to run. Sorry, Mike. But you get the idea. He's still very young, right? I mean, like, I don't know how old his wife is, but she's still old enough to have kids at this point. You know, like, these things are going to take time. It's okay. Mike Mack, last season, 10-7 record in his first season as Seattle's head coach. First coach in franchise history to win 10 games in his debut season after coming over as the defensive coordinator of the Ravens and prior to that at the University of Michigan. I'm all in. Mike Mack, it's not going to be perfect, but there's reason to be optimistic that this team is on the right track, that Mike Macdonald is doing a good job, and that he's laying the groundwork a great run for many years to come. Now, will this be a sophomore slump or a sophomore skyrocket? What are we going to see from Mike Macdonald in year 2? Will the Seahawks take a step forward or a step back? Weigh in, let us know. Will Mike Macdonald have a better year this season? Type Y for yes, in for no. Tell us in the comments section below. Seahawks Nike t-shirts are on sale now for just $15.99 while supplies last at chatsports.com/SeahawksT. It's getting hot outside. You need some t-shirts. You want to be representing your Seattle Seahawks as well. Look, we're not talking about Nike gear being cheap too often, folks. You got to get these. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT. They get yours now. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. All sorts of different shapes and sizes as well for you. Go get yours today. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT. Mike Macdonald was talking not too long ago at the NFL owners' meetings about his second year and what he expects going forward from here. And I got to give the man a ton of credit. He's got some high expectations for himself and for this team going forward. And the goals are right at the top. He said this: I want to win the Super Bowl. That's the expectation, man. Every time you step on the field, your expectation is to win. When I was a high school coach, our head coach, Zarvia Smith, got the staff together in the summer, and he's like, hey, write down what you think our record is going to be this year. And guys would turn in like 8-2 or 7-3, 9-1 or whatever. And to those people, he was like, what games are we going to lose so we can just go ahead and not play those games? So if you go into this whole process not expecting to win, you're not doing it the right way. You know, as the great televangelist Oral Roberts once said, expect a miracle. You know, expectations change. You know, faces change, expectations don't. And I love the standard that they are setting here in Seattle. And Macdonald, it's two things that he's preaching to his team when it comes to these specific expectations of how they're going to meet them: toughness and staying connected. Macdonald's saying this: I think there's a lot I didn't know. I didn't know last year. There's still a lot I don't know that I don't know. It's not like I'm the expert after a year, but every time there's a new part of the year, it's not like, oh, crap, here we are. It's okay. We did it last year. This is what we learned from it. This is what we liked about it. Bing, bong, boom. Rather than just saying, this is how we want to operate. Then we kind of learned as things went along, so that'd be helpful. Mike Mac, I'm bought in. I was a fan of this hiring from day one. I like what I've seen. He's the right man for this moment, for this time, for the Seattle Seahawks organization for 2025 and beyond. I believe in him. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. It's not going to be perfect, but the groundwork is being laid, and this franchise is taking steps in the right direction from here. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. If you made it to the end of today's show, you know what that means. You're a real member of the 12s. Spam 12 in the comments section. We'll see you next time here on the channel. All right. 2 down, 1 to go. Up next, we will talk the offensive line. Did the Seahawks fix their biggest problem? And I answer this question: will Mike Macdonald have a better year this season? Big Tex rejoins me right now. Big Tex, let's get your thoughts. Weigh in here. Are you sold on Mike Mac? Do you think he's going to do a better job this year?
I do. I think in year one, he did a lot better than what people expected. And I know we've talked about this before, about it being a little bit overshadowed by Dan Quinn and the Washington Commanders, who the Seahawks did pass on. They interviewed Dan Quinn, I believe, and they passed, and they went with Mike. But I think he did great last year, all things considered. Like, I think Geno's like a pretty mid quarterback. No offense to the Geno stands out there, but I think he's going to have a lot more success in year two. He's got a better roster, better defense. Second year into the system is always better than the first. It's typically always the case with successful head coaches. Is you have a rough first year, and it wasn't even rough. It was 10 games. They missed the playoffs, won 10 games. That was your quote-unquote rough year. And now you take that next step because you've already gotten that transitional year out of the way, and your second year is only up. I expect them to contend for the NFC West and the playoffs this year. I think they're going to win 11, 12 games.
Did you like me quoting Oral Roberts?
Yes.
Do you know who Oral Roberts is?
Barely.
Started Oral Roberts University.
Right. That sounded familiar.
Yes. ORU in
A
Tulsa.
televangelist, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Expect a miracle.
Reminded me of that Steve Martin movie about the televangelist.
Oh, yes.
It's crazy.
I would be a great televangelist, I think.
I feel like you would. You definitely would. You'd get a lot of people to donate a crap ton of money to you. To the Lord, I mean.
Oh, yes. What's I haven't watched him in years, but what's the line from Joel Osteen, the beginning of all his shows? This is my Bible.
Yes.
What
is it?
I do what it says. I believe it. What's the Joel Osteen line? I got to look this up.
I have 5 private jets. The Lord gifted me.
Oh, here it is. Joel Osteen. This is my Bible. I am what it says I am. I have what it says I have. I can do what it says I can do. Joel Osteen. Shout out Joel Osteen. Spam Joel Osteen in the chat. Joel Osteen, he could be a great chat sports host with all the money he knows how to bring in. You know.
No doubt. He would be a good investor for sure.
The man probably doesn't drink, though. So
that would be a contingency point.
That might not work. But do we have any thoughts from the chat on what do we think of Joel Osteen or Joel Osteen or Oral Roberts? Honestly, the Oral Roberts line I thought of right on the spot. If you couldn't tell,
I could tell a little, but it was good. It was good. Good improv.
Oh yes, super chat menu. Instead of giving your money to Joel Osteen, you can super chat us. $sign next to the chat box. First time super chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 gets you a beer cheers. $10 take some shots. $20 spin the wheel of punishment. $50 to do a beer bong. I'm a little surprised we've only had one super chat today, folks. A little sad. I want to have some fun. I want to party. I want to drink, have a good time, but haven't really gotten the opportunity to do that yet, folks. There's no mailbag today, so the only way you can get screen time is by sending us a super chat. Simon says, how the heck did we go from Hawk News to televangelist? Because I quoted Oral Roberts in the show. That's how. That's how we got to talk at televangelist. Ben Patter says, money for heaven seems so legit. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. I do not want to get in trouble. Yes. Yeah. Maybe y'all can tithe the Seahawks today. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the offensive line now in our final segment. Has the offensive line been fixed? It's the multi-million-dollar question on the minds of Seahawks fans. Let's discuss that and more as we continue here on this live edition of Seahawks Today, starting right now. Has the Seattle Seahawks' biggest issue been fixed? Welcome in to today's edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us. We're talking all about the offensive line. It has been a problem for several years now for this Seahawks team. And last year, it looked about as bad as ever. On today's program, we are going to lay out the reasons why better days are ahead. Stay tuned. Before we do, folks, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I want to set our subs record for the month of July. Let's make this a July to remember. The most subs we've had on a single video for the month so far is 32. Let's get at least 50 more. We are on the way to a nice total of 69,000 subscribers in the channel. The only thing missing is you. Subscribe now for daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day, live shows 3 days a week. News and rumors, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, Madden, Sims, and more, all right here on your Seahawks offseason headquarters. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. Are the repairs being made? Tim the Tool Man, home improvement. Has he been putting in the work to get this thing solved on the offensive line? Well, the offensive line issues very well could be resolved in 2025. Let's start with this from Michael Sean Duggar of The Athletic, who was asked, what's the biggest question mark for Seattle entering 2025? And he says it's the offensive line. The answer to this question will define the season. The Seahawks have talented skill players at offense, and they're returning nearly every starter from a defense that was a top 10 unit in 2024. Sam Darnold demonstrated that he can be a competent quarterback when his supporting cast is strong. Is a potential lineup of Charles Cross, Grey Zabel, Olu Olutimi, Anthony Bradford, and Abe Lucas enough to qualify as strong? Zabel, a rookie, is the only new player in that lineup. New offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak and his front line hold the keys to the Seahawks season. I've said it before, and I will say it again, folks. The only thing that is holding the Seahawks back from being a playoff team in 2025 is the offensive line. When we fast forward to January, and we'll have the answer to this question, if the Seahawks are in the postseason or not, it's going to come down to, was their offensive line good enough? If their offensive line is good enough, they'll be in the playoffs, and anything can happen from there. But if the offensive line does not do its part, then they will not be going to the postseason. You look at the offensive line for Seattle. Charles Cross holding things down on the left side, coming off his best season yet. You got the rookie Grey Zabel. Olu's expected to be your starting center, although he's facing some competition with Jalen Sundell. And then the right guard spot, Anthony Bradford had a good offseason program, as did Christian Haynes. Both of them should be improved. And then Abe Lucas is back, and he's the healthiest he's been in quite some time. So why should we believe that things are going to be better for Seattle? I got 3 reasons for you. Let's start with the rookie Grey Zabel out of North Dakota State. The 18th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft is expected to immediately come in and be your starting left guard. And I think right away he is going to be a difference maker for Seattle, and he's already got the attention of his new head coach in Mike Macdonald. Macdonald said this recently on Zabel. Really excited about Grey. He's what we thought he was going to be at this point. I mean, he's going to be that. He has a certain intentionality going through the drills, hitting his spots, communicating, being decisive with Charles Cross to the left side. I think those guys are working really well together, so really fired up to see him in the fall. The great competition, the one-on-ones, getting the pads on. It's going to be a lot of fun to see him compete with the D-line. The tools are there. Everything that you're looking for from Grey Zabel is right in front of him. But can he put it all together? That remains to be seen. He is a rookie. There's going to be some growing pains. This is not going to be overnight. But there's a lot of reason to be optimistic for Grey Zabel here. He's learning a new position. He played tackle when he was in college at North Dakota State when he won 2 national titles, was named an FCS All-American and an All-Missouri Valley Football Conference selection. Arms a little bit shorter, so that bodes better for the guard spot compared to when he was playing tackle previously. And just learning a new position is going to take some time as well. But with what we saw of the sample size at North Dakota State, he checked off the boxes. His overall grade, I don't care if you're playing Little Stepsisters of the Poor college or if you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. These numbers are great anywhere. 90.4 overall grade, 93.1 pass block grade, 86.5 run block grade, only allowed 1 sack. I called for 7 penalties. I believe that Grey Zabel is going to be a huge difference for this Seahawks team. Do you believe in the Seahawks offensive line? Are they going to turn a corner in 2025? Type B for believe, D for don't. Keep it real with me, 12s. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in and let us know what you think. Number 2, in our reasons to believe that things are going to be different for this offensive line is starting left tackle Charles Cross. Charles Cross had a big step forward in 2024, playing the best football of his career so far, and he looks like he's well on his way to being a Pro Bowl, All-Pro caliber tackle at the next level. And he's already got the attention of the folks at Pro Football Focus who said this. Despite playing on arguably the worst offensive line in football, Cross enjoyed a breakout season in his third NFL season. After allowing pressure on 8.1% of pass plays in each of his first two seasons, he gave up pressure on just 7% of pass plays, and his 81.3 PFF pass blocking grade ranked 13th at the position in 2024. Cross fared well in run blocking too, evidenced by his 15th ranked 77.9 PFF run blocking grade. I have every reason to think that Charles Cross's best football is ahead of him. And you think about last year too. That was coming back from injury. So you have a full offseason where he's fully healthy, where he's fresh, where he's got another year under his belt here. I think the best is still yet to come for Charles Cross as he's just now starting to enter his prime years. The former first-round pick out of Mississippi State was ranked the 13th best offensive tackle in the NFL last season, and that includes all left and right tackles. So you think about that, it's pretty good company to be in. He started every game that he's played in his career at this point, 48 total starts. And when you take a step further at those grades that PFF mentioned, here's what we're talking about. Nearly 1,100 snaps and had an overall grade of 82.5, a pass block grade of 81.3, a run block grade of 77.9. Charles Cross got the job done, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for 2025. Will this be Charles Cross's best season yet? Type Y for yes, in for no. Chime in the comments section and tell us what you think. Folks, we got a great deal we're offering right now. Nike Seahawks t-shirts are on sale for $15.99 while supplies last. Chatsports.com/Seahawks tee. It's getting hot outside. You're looking for t-shirts. You're looking for Nike gear. This is the right thing for you. We got all sorts of different shapes and sizes available. It's a great deal. You can't miss on this, folks. Chatsports.com/Seahawks tee to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks tee to get yours now. One misconception about the Seahawks offensive line in 2024 was how bad they were and the numbers that were put up for the whole season, comparably speaking to the back end of the year when they had Abraham Lucas. We saw with Lucas in the lineup, the offensive line as a whole was drastically better. So then you carry that over to 2025, and if Abraham Lucas stays healthy, then that itself is a whole different scenario than what we witnessed previously in 2024. Abraham Lucas, when he's out there, he's really solid. But the key is his availability. The best ability is availability. Abraham Lucas gave an update on his expectations for 2025. He said this recently. We're trying to be elite at very few things, but those few things are what the offense is going to be based around, and that's the run game. We're going to be elite at the run game. That's the philosophy with it. So it's not some hodgepodge of just a bunch of different stuff we're just throwing in. We're going to be elite at the basics and make sure that they work so we can do it against anybody. When it comes to Abraham Lucas, he is really good when he's healthy. Am I concerned about the knee? Of course. I think everybody should be concerned about that knee to an extent. Pete Carroll said it was a chronic issue. Mike Macdonald disagrees. We won't know till we know. But if he's out there, that goes a long way for this offensive line. Abraham Lucas missed most of 2023 and 2024 with that knee injury. He's played in 29 games with 29 starts. Not a ton of time on the field in his first three seasons. But the former third-round pick, when he's out there, has been very solid. And last year, even when he wasn't 100% healthy, he was just glad to be out there. And he says right now he's as close to 100% healthy as he's been in a long time. His numbers held their own. They were good enough. And I have every reason to think that those numbers are going to improve this year. Offensive grade near 62. Pass block grade near 66. Run block grade near 63. A healthy Abraham Lucas, that changes everything for this offensive line. And with what we're talking about, a healthy Abe, a Pro Bowl caliber Charles Cross, and then a rookie in Grey Zabel, a first-round rookie, there should be some dramatic improvements here. What's your confidence level in Abe Lucas's health entering 2024? Scale it for me, be honest, 1 through 10. I'm at about 6 right now. Cautiously optimistic. I think that's a fair way to put it. Scale it for me in the comment section. Let us know. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. For continuing Seahawks coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. All right. So what is your confidence level in Abraham Lucas? Scale it for me 1 through 10. Weigh in and let us know. Lon says 6. Very curious what the rest of you have to say about that. We will get out of here, folks. Ralph says 4. We will have more coverage on the channel throughout the coming days ahead. Back for another live show on Wednesday. We'll do a Madden Sim, and then we'll do another show Friday with another Madden Sim as well. So be on the lookout for that, and we will see you then. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great night, everybody. So long. Oh, wait, not quite out of here yet. Got a $5 super chat from Chad. We will not leave yet. We will not leave just yet. Chad with a $5 super chat says, would it help Lucas stay healthy moving him to guard? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I've thrown out that idea before of him potentially playing guard. The problem is you are deeper at guard than you are at backup tackle. I think with the personnel you have now, you're best off with going with Abe to play the tackle spot. If you had brought in more tackle options, that could be a different story. But I think you got to go with Abe at the tackle spot based on the situation you're in. Cheers to you, Chad. Go Hawks. Thanks for sending that super chat. Now we will sign off. Folks, appreciate you joining us. And have a great rest of your day, everybody. For Big Tex, I'm Tyler Jones. So long. We'll see you on Wednesday.